Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have been promising a Karity Palette review for like 2 weeks now. I do have to say it is what I am wearing today. I don't know if you guys can see the color in there, but these palettes are pretty amazing. I did some research on them and looked around for some other reviews just to get some ideas of what some other people thought, and I think that the biggest thing is that these shadows are dupes for MAC. I can't speak to that. I don't have any singular MAC shadows in my collection, but what I will tell you is they are incredibly pigmented shadows. These colors on my eyes are exactly how they appear in the pan. It didn't take me very long to get them onto my eye the way I exactly wanted them. They are very pigmented shadows. So if you're used to MAC's pigment, from what I gather on all of the reviews that are on YouTube and blog channels regarding Karity, is that they are sometimes more pigmented than the MAC shadows that are out there. This company is vegan. It is cruelty-free and paraben-free. It is an online-only company, so you can only purchase their items online. And the reason why they have done that is to cut the unnecessary costs that it creates when you decide to sell your items elsewhere. So the founder, his name was, I have this all written down for y'all. The founder, his name is Isaac Rami. I hope I'm not butchering that last name. It's R-A-M-I. He developed this company because this, as the story goes, he went to search for an item, a makeup item that his wife had asked him to go pick up from the store, and saw sticker shock from the moment he walked into the aisle for where he needed to be to pick up the item his wife wanted him to pick up. So he, in his thought processes, thought that there had to be a better way to make products for women or men, makeup products at a different cost, one that's not going to break the bank. And he did that. And with this company, he created extremely pigmented shadows. He's got a set of brushes. There are concealer palettes, blush palettes, I believe. But he created all that with that thought process in mind. He also, as I said, created it with the thought process of doing something better with the monies that he makes. So he donates a meal to an animal in need for every palette that's purchased. And that program is called Palette for Paws. Palettes for Paws. It is extraordinary what this company does for the community, which I think is absolutely fantastic, because here we are in this business of beauty, right? And buying all these makeup items from these companies that are, you know, cruelty free or not cruelty free, but don't do anything else with the money that they're making. And yes, Karity is this small-ish brand, right? They're only retailed online. They are not retailed in the store. And from what I understand, there isn't, I don't know if there's no thought process in retailing in a store, but I know that they are trying to cut that middleman out so that they don't have to charge you an arm and a leg to get what you need in makeup.
Sorry, I heard something. I had to see what was going on.
So I'm going to discuss with you the palettes first. I got the matte palette and the frost palette, and both of these palettes have 21 shades in them. So this is the matte one. There is no mirror in the palette. That is kind of a pet peeve of mine, but to be honest, these palettes cost $29 a piece, so for 21 shades and no mirror, I think that's kind of a steal. This is the Frost palette. This is the lid color I have on my eye today. It is called Foreplay, and this is without foiling it. And then I also have, this is an all over, it's a base shade. It's called Luxuria. I also have Coquette, whatever. As my crease color, I put some Vegas down as well, and some NSFW down as well. And then mixed NSFW with Huntress here also to come up with that darker, deeper red color. And those two colors are also on my lower lash line. These are some pretty amazing palettes. So I just thought I did an ingredient review between this palette and a couple of my other palettes. The biggest differences that I see in this palette versus some of the other palettes that I have is that Karity has talc in it and some of the other palettes that I have do not. So like Modern Renaissance doesn't have talc in it. Talc is the first ingredient in here. Man, this hair. I really need a haircut. Pause.
Okay, we got the kitty ears on. That's a little better. I guess this is appropriate since it's close to Halloween.
The first ingredient in the Karity palettes is talc and not mica, which is what's in the Modern Renaissance palette. I do not see dimethicone in these palettes as far as the ingredient list that's listed on the box and on the palette goes, but that is a major ingredient in Modern Renaissance, Urban Decay, those kind of things, and that is a item that is added, I believe, for purposes of keeping the palette a longer amount of time, so keeping it fresh a longer amount of time. But these palettes they have a 24-month expiration date, whereas the Modern Renaissance palette and most of Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes have a 6-month expiration date on them. One of the other palettes that I did cross-reference it to is the Urban Decay Electric palette, just because of the color content in this palette. It has the same expiration as the Karity palettes, and it basically has the same. Let me see if I can do this without blinding you guys with the mirror. It has some of the very similar shades. A lot of the shades in the Urban Decay palette are metallic or shimmery type, but the two that I really pushed up against each other were this one here in the Karity palette and this one here in the Urban Decay palette. I find them to be the exact same. So this one here is from the Karity palette, and this one here is actually from the Urban Decay palette, and they are almost exactly the same swatched out. This one looks a little like pinker, and this one looks a little redder, but other than that, like, the stain power is amazing. The color, the pigmentation is amazing. And the wipe off test, like, they both kind of leave a little bit of a remnant after wiping them off. So another one that I liked to compare is this blue here in the Urban Decay palette and this blue here in the Karity palette. They're very similar. This one does appear a little lighter in the pan. So that is from the Karity palette. And this one is from the Urban Decay palette. Do you see how much more blue this one is than the Urban Decay? They're both one swatch. They're both on my finger. They both look exactly the same. But on the skin, the Urban Decay is actually a little less pigmented than the Karity. And that's just in the mattes palette. So I also purchased the Frost palette. In the Frost palette, you have this color here that looks very similar to this color here. This one looks a little more blue and this one a little more green, but let's try it. So that is from the Urban Decay palette. And that is from the Karity palette. Now again, this is a little more blue and this one a little more green, but look at the sheen on the Karity palette one, whereas the one from Urban Decay is just flat. It's just flat. I was shocked at these palettes and what they did. Let's try a palette that's got some sparkle to it, like real sparkle. So let's do the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette, and let's use, let's use this blue and that blue that we just used. Let's see how they measure up to each other. So that is the Make Believe in Yourself. And that is the Karity. Obviously different colors of blue. But can you guys see the sparkle? Can you guys see that? Like this palette was $40 something. $40 something. And it has 10 shadows. 10 shadows. $40 something. Real good shine. Don't get me wrong. Real good sparkle. Real good shimmer. $29. 21 fabulously pigmented shades with an amazing amount of sheen, an amazing amount of shimmer, and lasting power that is crazy. So I guess what I have to say is that these two palettes by Karity are amazing. Do I love the packaging? No. I don't love the fact that there's not a mirror in either one. I actually like these palettes far less than the one that is just, I think they're Nudes and Rudes, which is all nudes, has just black and then it says Karity and a white band down the side of it. I think those are far more stimulating than this. I think these palettes are kind of actually made the same but look cheaper because of this whole thing here. I don't find that the packaging is amazing. But with that being said, the pigments in these palettes are fantastic. The price that you pay for each pan in these palettes is fantastic. The pan size in these palettes is 0.06 ounces. The pan size in this palette, which is $42 for 14 shades, is 0.02 ounces. 0.06 ounces for 21 pans. I feel like if you are in this makeup business on a budget, that these are the palettes to go with. They have matte, frost, they have smoky, they have nudes and rudes, they have concealer palettes, they have brushes, they have an amazing amount of product for such an inexpensive price. Their shipping isn't even that much. I know that initially in my makeup loving career, I went to Morphe and was trying to buy some stuff from Morphe, and their shipping is astronomical. You purchase this palette for like $21 and you have to pay $9 to get it shipped to you. That's ridiculous. You go on there and buy a $5 brush and you have to pay $9 to get it shipped to you? What? That's ridiculous. These palettes aren't made, very cheaply, even though they are cardboard palette. They do have a magnetic closure. There is no mirror, not my favorite, but all of the colors are on here. That's not something that you're going to get from Morphe. All of the information about the palette and the ingredient list is also on here. That's not something you're going to get from Morphe. I do love this brand. I have a referral code down in my drop down box that gets you $5 off your first palette. I think it's smart to use it. I think it's smart to get involved with this brand. Number one, they're good to you by offering you something for super inexpensive, very affordable brand. And with every palette sold, they also offer something amazing to their community. As far as, you know, their palettes for Paws. These are incredibly pigmented shadows, but at the same time are also very buildable. And even if you don't get the pigment that you want out of them the first swipe, which I can't foresee happening, like, it's crazy how pigmented they are, you are able to in the end because they are so buildable. There are some standouts and then of course some not so standouts. I will be honest with you, this brown is probably not my favorite. I find it to be a little bit patchy, but this brown is amazing. This color here is called Feign, is a little weird. It's pigmented, sure, but it doesn't translate well. I don't know if you guys can even see that. It doesn't translate well. It just basically makes your skin look green, almost like it's just that way. And the black is not the most amazing black. It's really kind of gray. But you can build it up. You can build it to the black that you want it to be. As far as the Frost palette goes, I don't think I have found a color in there yet that I didn't. I take that back. This color is called Hula. This one here. I don't like that color. I don't know what it is about it, but I just have a hard time with it. It's not as shimmery as its counterparts in here. It comes off more as a matte, and it's just not as pretty as it is in the pan. So I guess that would be my miss in this palette. But other than that, I really like all the colors in it. So that is my Karity review for you guys. Like I said, $29 a piece for these palettes. There are 21 pans in here. Each pan is 0.6 ounces. You're paying so little for the amount of product that is in these. And they have a 24-month shelf life as opposed to some other. Now, if you're anything like me, like I keep my powder products until they smell bad or look whatever. Like as long as they're working still and their pigment is still there and they don't reek, I'm going to keep a hold of them regardless of their shelf life. But these are some pretty impressive palettes for the price. Like I said, I have a Karity discount code down in my drop down. Use it. It's $5 off your first palette purchase. Use it. Find a palette that you like. Try it. Tell me I'm wrong after you're done. Tell me I'm wrong. These palettes are amazing and they rival your higher end palettes any day. The story I was going to tell you is that I went to bed one night, or well, didn't go to bed one night. I accidentally fell asleep on the couch and had not taken off my makeup before I fell asleep. And when I woke up the next day, I went to work with the same makeup on and didn't even touch it up that I had on the day before because I didn't have time to redo it, which is real bad. Shame on me, and I think I maybe have said this in another video, but the makeup that I had on was Karity, and I went to work the next day with the same makeup that I had fallen asleep in, same makeup that I wore to bed all night, and got so many compliments on my makeup the next day. I did not touch it up, but it was Karity. It was Karity shadows, and I have never had something stick to my eye as well as that does. And I've done it with both an eye primer and without an eye primer. And I feel like if you're trying to get away from a step in makeup, this is the way to go, because those shadows stay. They have some incredible lasting power. Like literally, I slept in this stuff and it still presented itself the next day as if it was brand new makeup on my face. So with that being said, I hope that you check out Karity. I hope that you use my referral code down there for you to get $5 off. And I hope that you find a palette that you really, truly love and prove me wrong. But like I said, some of the videos on here say they're dupes for MAC. I can't speak to that. I don't have single MAC shadows, but let me know what you think. I hope that you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I hope that you really liked this video. And until tomorrow, thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and I will see you tomorrow.